All right, now that we got the curtains done, next up we're gonna go ahead and create the top bunk on this side, specifically so that we can use it for storage, for merch and stuff and carrying different things. But then I can still use this bottom part underneath of it for moving around a lot of my bigger rack cases and stuff without having to take the trailer. So we're gonna go ahead and do that because that will allow me to focus on doing the door and then figuring out what to do in those intermediate small spots. I keep going back and forth on whether or not I should literally just cut plywood pieces that I already have. I'm just figuring out how I would actually like mount them in there, because I can always basically just draw the lines that I need, cut on it, then put it in, but I just don't know how I'm going to attach it, because I've got some thick stuff and then I have some thinner stuff. Just not 100% sold on that idea yet. So we'll do what we can. We're gonna work on that bunk. I gotta go out to the barn and cut an 80-inch of the 2x6. So an 80-inch, a 75.5, 75, and then two 1x1s need to be 80 inches long. After we do that, then there's just gonna be a bunch of slats, but I'm gonna wait until I can measure once everything's up. Oh, and then I need to take a 2x6 and do 3 14 inches. So hopefully, since I remembered that just now, I'll remember it by the time I walk out to the barn. All right. So somewhat the benefit of knowing kind of what I'm doing, I'm gonna drill all my pocket holes outside of here so that when I need to put everything in, all I have to do literally is put it in and screw it, instead of trying to figure out where things go, then drilling the pocket holes, all that stuff. I'm just gonna do all the pocket holes outside of here, put it in, done. It's gonna be awesome. Boom, and just like that, we got the start of bunk set number 2. Just enough for a bunch of space underneath. I'm gonna go cut our 280 1x1s, and then we'll measure what it is to the wall. And you like it, bud? Oh yeah. So we'll measure what it is to the wall, and then we'll start cutting all of our slats, which is funny because I should probably count how many slats are underneath the other bunks, because I know that I did it at one point in time and now I forget. But now that that is getting closer to completed, once those slats are in and done, then comes this door right here. Try to figure that out. And the ironic part is, as I was measuring things, this is going to be have to be one pretty custom door, because it's 29.5 inches at some places, 29 in others. So we're gonna have to figure out how to make this thing actually swing in a way that we need it to. So figure it out. But super pumped with how sturdy this thing is, and it's not even screwed into the floor yet. It's literally just kind of wedged in there. I like what I did here, where I actually pinned it up in here with some screws. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side and then back there. That way it actually holds in where it's supposed to. Yeah, it's going to be sweet. All right, well, didn't get quite everything done that I was hoping to today, but we did get a ton done. We got all the window curtains up, which is awesome. We got the bunk almost, you know, good chunk of it done. So we got the railing in here. I got to put that railing up tomorrow, and then the slats, and then screw this whole section down, and then we also got this whole section right here done and buttoned up, and these fully insulated and back on the wall the way that they're supposed to be. And oh yeah, we got this bar in too, and we did the straps here so that we can actually get these in and our kids can see out, but they won't fall out. So we got actually quite a bit done today, so I'm pretty happy about it. Got the bus moved out of the way so we can drive the other cars into church tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow we'll get some more done on it. I still want to get this whole front section done before I leave for Texas. So we got to put insulation back up in here, so in that area, and then down on the front, and then also this whole massive section over down in there. So we'll get those done, and then I'm gonna put the fascia stuff over top of here and then right down there and insulate those, and then the insulation stuff's going to be completely done once that's all buttoned up. I would kind of like to put an outlet right there so that I can run an extension cord to the bus without having to run through or window or anything. Right now I have an extension cord that's just coming up through all of the foam, expanding foam that's right there. So I'd like to make it a little bit more permanent. I don't know if I have a electrical box or not, but that might be something I run to the store for. So lot done, super pumped with how things are coming along, and it's going to be uber nice to have a lot of this stuff done before a trip to Texas. If nothing else, Abby did say that maybe here, instead of having the door for the Texas trip, I may just hang a bed sheet or whatever. But these gaps, I definitely want to, at least those I want to fill up. That doesn't really matter as much, but those gaps need to get filled with something, so whether it's wood or something else. All right, it is time to put this curtain on, so we gotta go through and add all the hooks, and then Abby slaved over making this curtain and this one, which is going to go right there on the bus window. So after that's done, I already have stuff that goes over the front two windows, so literally it's just the side windows, passenger and driver, that won't have any specific window coverings, but honestly not too worried about it. And this is kind of version 1 of this, because we were going to split it down the middle, but Abby just has it one huge piece, and I have to leave for Texas in like 2 days. So I still have to do the oil, but we're gonna do this, put all the hooks on, and we'll show you what it looks like. All right, so we got prototype number 1. Fits right over top the back of the seats. Separates the cab from this. There are snap things here, but we don't have the actual snaps, so. But I think that's gonna work out well. And of course, once I get the wood stuff done over here and over there and above, it'll look a lot better. But for literally just throwing this together in what, like 2 days? Yep. That's pretty stinking good. And honestly, like if I'm at a standstill, which is what I'm going to be since I'm the only one going on this trip to Texas, that's gonna be plenty of privacy for the rest of this without having to do much of anything.
Hi.
What do you guys think?
Good. It's so fun. And what did I do with my hat? And then no one can see us while we're sleeping, or actually, no one can see us when we're driving back here. Perfect.
Basically. All right, we are headed back out to the bus. It's been a little bit, a day or two. Got the oil changed yesterday because it was somewhat warm. Spilled all the oil out on the ground because I was silly and didn't pull the drain plug. But now we're gonna go finish the rear bunk, top bunk. We're gonna put the slats and stuff in it so that I've got storage space for this trip that we're going to Texas. So super pumped for it. It's gonna be a blast. And now I just gotta unlock it so we can get in and get going. So we're gonna finish the bunk with the slats. We'll be good to go. So we got the edge over here done. So now what we got to do is I'm going to measure out the slats, and I actually got to take the mattress off and count how many I made. Then we'll go cut all those slats, and then we'll just use drywall screws to screw it in. And then this bunk, as far as what we've done, will be finished. I'm going to screw the bunk to the floor. That'll make this thing super sturdy. I'll use this for storage on my trip to Austin or to Texas. And then we'll have storage down here that will have plenty of space to put stuff as well. But then this one will be done, and then later on, again, depending on what happens with different things or whatever, we've got the option to make 2 more bunks on this side as well. But this was the one that I wanted to get done. So measure this out, go cut some slats. So we got our slats. We got to do 12 that are 28 inches long. So we're gonna go ahead and get those cut, and then we'll pop them in the bus. Go ahead and jump in the bus and start placing them and putting them where they need to go, and then we'll screw them in using drywall screws. we got this bunk all shored up, which is pretty awesome. So now we're going back up to the front. We got to get that handled today because I don't want to be driving down the road and having this thing flopping all over the place, because I'm sure at some point in time this is going to break. But I want to get insulation in there, down behind there, and it would be great if we could get insulation here, in there, and then somehow kind of seal this area up. If I could get that done, that would be phenomenal. Abby, of course, got the curtains done, which is awesome. And then I need to screw down this bench over here, which is pretty easy to figure out where it needs to go because it is going to come all the way to this door. And then we've got a little bit of like a cubby. We're going to put like storage area right here with maybe a shelf or something like that for people if, you know, they want to work on their laptop or whatever, which while I'm on the road, I'm going to be needing to do that quite a bit. So I don't know how that's going to look necessarily yet, but that's down the road. But then this one, I got to figure out where it's going to go because I also want to put a mini fridge here eventually and some storage. So we got to figure out where all that's going to go. But that's going to determine that is how much space I need up here for the power, and then the AC/heating unit, which is going to go in this area. So this will probably shift that way at least a little bit, but we're going to take it one step at a time. So I already traced a little bit on this where I need to cut, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, cut that, and then we're going to figure out exactly where this needs to come over to cut, and then I'll pull this back, put the insulation in there, and then we'll screw this in, and that one will be done, and then we'll go and start working on the other one. So it's gonna be sweet.
Well, I think he saw a mouse, which don't know where it is. Yep.
All right, so in trying to get rid of all of the mess of cables that we're not using anymore, this white wire right here, that's coming to this fuse, I believe. This is for the air compressor that never worked, so I'm going to take it out so I don't have to worry about it anymore, and we can get rid of another wire that's randomly being run somewhere that we don't need. So we're going to take this off and hopefully find a handful of the other wires that we're not needing anymore and get rid of those as well. So take this guy out. We'll leave the red one in because I think that goes to something else. And I'll just put that right back on. And before we pull all that stuff out, we are going to at least turn the bus on and make sure nothing blows up, because that would be bad. See any sparks?
Nope.
Oh good, we didn't break anything. All right, should be good.
So Dad is cutting up some of this foam. Then I'm actually standing on it.
So we're cutting this close because this is going to be the insulation for the nose cone. The good thing is, I think we're gonna have just enough to do the nose cone, because I've got two pieces that are 39 by 26, which will be here and here, and the rest of that is gonna be pieces that go inside of that section right there. So worst case scenario, that section right there, we could do spring-in insulation, possibly. But this stuff I want to put up in there because that's where most of the space and stuff is. Could be worse.
Dad just finished doing that. So bye.
Turn it around. So we got all the insulation in. It's all covered up. I'm gonna throw a little chunk in there that I've got down here. But this is gonna go right in like this. You gotta screw it in place still. But that's the finished product right there. So this will be squared off, and I can do that once it's all screwed in. So we'll get that screwed in, get this all flush, and then this one will be done. And then go over to this side and try to work on that. But we got the insulation in. It's looking super good. Alright, so unfortunately I didn't take you along for the ride on a lot of different things, but we got a lot of stuff done, and it was like crunch time, so we got a lot of stuff done. That is now in, this is on, this is all insulated. There's a little section on the other side of the cone that still needs insulation, but I ran out, which is a good thing because I don't have any more insulation, but it means it's all being used. This bench is now screwed to the floor. We put tabs on it so that the mattress itself, even though you're not going to hit this or whatever, but the mattress isn't going to go anywhere. We washed all the sheets, and for the two benches and the mattresses there, I cleaned up a bunch of the wires. The heater is now working underneath of there again. What else did we do?
Vacuumed, cleaned up.
Oh yeah, we vacuumed and cleaned up, and I think we might mop this floor to get it all sparkling and shining. Oh, and we got a basket up there, so you can actually put thingy bobbers in there without it getting lost. Changed the oil. Finally figured out where the fuel and water separator is and emptied that. So it should have started easier. Had some issues starting it, but I think that was because it was like 30 degrees all day today and I didn't have it plugged in. So finally got it started. It's running really well, running smooth, and got new air filters in too. And so now I think we're gonna go to bed because we have a trip tomorrow to go to a family wedding. That's 3 hours from here and then 3 hours back, and then we're loading up the bus, and then I'm leaving the next morning to go to Texas. So last things we have to do, I have to pull the heater that will run off the power supply in here to figure out where this bench goes, screw the bench down, and then we'll move that bench over here, and then load up the bus with everything else that needs to go on the trip. Pretty fun. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic day. If you do want to get your bus keychain and help promote and sponsor the stuff going on with the bus, these are still available. Link listed below, so make sure you snag yours. And thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and can't wait to see you guys on the road sometime, hopefully soon. So if you want to, there's a email listed below. You can just contact me, info@mattfawcettmusic.com. Just put booking in the headline or in the subject, and we'll get a show headed out towards you. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see y'all later.